Here's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove football show. We've got a Vanderbilt Alabama matchup that people actually care about. We're going to talk about that, the top 25, our picks for this week, and in the NFL, we've got 6 more picks to give you as well. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove football show. Hello and welcome to an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Football Show on the Belly Up Sports Network, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Use that promo code STOVE15. You're going to get 15% off your purchase. I'm Vince Stover. Typically, I am joined by my dad, Dale Stover, but he's away visiting his favorite child this week, and so he's not able to be on the program. That's okay, though. We're bringing in some help to help us out today as well, especially to talk college football. And this is the host of the Tailgate on the Quad podcast, the one and only Kev. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm already stressed about the Alabama game this weekend, which I never thought I would say about Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. But other than that, I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. And, it's funny. So I grew up in Middle Tennessee, just south of Nashville. Grew up a Tennessee fan. And Vanderbilt was always kind of that give me game, over time. And they've gotten Tennessee more times than they should have. But it's crazy that over the last year and a half, we're actually talking about Vanderbilt in some positive ways compared to the years and decades of just utter trash that they were. We actually had to show them a little bit of respect right now. At least that's the way I feel. Is that the way you feel too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at the spread of this game. It's 10.5. Usually that would be at least double for these games.
Yeah.
Via is getting a lot of the attention and credit for this, partially because he's 45 playing college football still, but also Clark Lee deserves a lot of credit. Even going back prior to Diego Pavia getting to Nashville, Vanderbilt was not quite respectable yet because he had a lot of work to do. It's to go from a laughing stock to just, oh yeah, they're there. Takes a lot of work, and he got them to that point last few years. I remember it was 2017, I think, when Alabama played Vandy early in the season. Vandy had started off hot. They were 3-0 playing nobody. Alabama played them week 4, and Vandy was running their mouths. Oh, we're going to show them how to play some real SEC ball. And then Alabama was up 59-0 by the end of the game. We had put in all of our backup and third stringers for the fourth quarter. So to go from that to you exist, you're a football program instead of just you're a bunch of nerds, to then an Alabama fan going, oh, I'm a little nervous about this game, is incredible. And Clark Lee deserves all the respect for what he has done for that program.
Yeah, I mean Vanderbilt. There's so many limitations. You have the academic side of things that they can't just recruit anybody, and then you get the fact that they are Vanderbilt. There's going to be limitations to their recruiting anyhow. And you're exactly right. What he's been able to do there in his time has been incredible to bring respect to the program. And I'm interested to see. You would like to. I think he's going to be a phone call for any team looking for a head coach this offseason. And I'm interested to see if Vanderbilt can hold on to him or not and what it takes from there. But I want to talk about Alabama, too, because obviously you are an Alabama alum, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I did graduate there. Did it in 4 years, which I'm shocked by sometimes. But yep. No, I did go to the University of Alabama.
So more than just a fan, you got some investment into it. You've paid some there as well.
Yeah,
and
I got a scholarship, so I joke I defrauded the government of Alabama giving me a scholarship, but nope, I did get a scholarship there, so I didn't pay as much as I should, but
sure.
Still gave a little bit of money to that economy.
I want to know exactly how you were feeling following the Florida State game to how you feel now, but I want to get that reaction to Florida State. I'm assuming you walked into that game thinking we got this, no problem. And by the time that game ended, what we talked off air about you're working to keep it clean and everything on this program, and we appreciate that. What were you feeling at the end of that Florida State game?
So like you said, the expectation was I wasn't going in going, oh, this is going to be an easy win. Florida State was bad last year, and yes, the last time Alabama played them, I think it was also 2017. We blew them out when they were number 3 in the country. We ruined their quarterback's career, tore his ACL. Really, kind of is the reason Jimbo Fisher went to Texas A&M, started the season off on the wrong foot. So I went into it going, okay, we're going to win this game. Like, that's not a question. Last season was disappointing. Kalen DeBoer has more of his guys in there. He's running the offense. He likes to run with Ty Simpson. It's not going to be bad. And then they just looked lifeless. No point during the game did I think they were going to win after Florida State scored. And I wasn't calling for Kalen DeBoer to be fired yet, but I was really close. I think I even said on Tailgate in the Quad, I'm getting close to saying just fire him already. I said they shouldn't be ranked after that game. He's on the hottest of hot seats without being fired yet. I had comments about Ty Simpson, but not a lot of the players. I said Ty Simpson was not the quarterback we needed. He looked fine passing, but he looked scared to run at times. When he had wide open space for a first, he would throw it into triple coverage. So I was very down on the team, as a lot of Alabama fans were. Nick Saban did say while he was here, like, oh, a lot of our fans are entitled. Yeah, we kind of are. Or at least. And then after the Georgia game, I am more confident in the team, but not overly confident. I'm not like, oh, we're going to go on and win the Natty now. Because a lot of the issues we had last year started popping up during that Georgia game. We got a quick lead in the first quarter. Second quarter, we let Georgia kind of start doing stuff. Second half, it was all Georgia. Georgia came roaring back. We couldn't stop them, couldn't put up more points. And we did luckily win the game off that Ryan Williams amazing play. But it was more of the same this year. Early lead to start. Second quarter, it starts getting a little closer. We really don't score. I don't know if we scored at all in the second half. We won on our defense, which is good to see. I like football teams built on defense. I think they're more easily sustained throughout the season for success. So I'm not overly confident until I see that Alabama can start finishing games a little better against some of these bigger opponents.
I came into the season really down on Alabama. I was surprised there was so much talk about national championship expectations and stuff like that. I felt they were still a 3-loss team coming into the season. And I don't know. I guess I just kind of saw a drop off. So when the Florida State thing happened, I thought I was surprised they lost to Florida State, but I wasn't crazy surprised, if that makes sense as well. And what I've been more surprised about is how they've played since, what Ty Simpson has done since then. And sure, there's still flaws, and sure, there's things that need to get better. But we've just entered into the hardest part of the season. And so winning at Georgia, especially after you see, well, first of all, that's the first loss they've had at Georgia in, I don't remember, since 2018 or something like that.
There's 33 games.
Okay.
So around there, I'd say.
A few seasons, yeah. So, you watch that Tennessee game, and they took Georgia. They should have beat Georgia, missed the field goal. And then you see Alabama come in, and they actually finished the job, complete, and beat Georgia as well. So, and I'm not an Alabama fan at all, but I will say that they're one of the teams that I've changed my opinion on more since the preseason, just because, especially the way that they've been able to rebound so quickly off of Florida State. They didn't, in my opinion, they really looked like it woke them up, which you would have liked to have thought they would have woke up in the second half of the Florida State game. but whatever reason, they've looked much better, obviously, since then.
Yes, and that's something you really didn't see last year. I mean, in games, it sort of happened. They didn't really respond super well. But, I mean, last year, yes, we beat Georgia, but then lose to Vanderbilt, beat South Carolina by 2 at home, lose to Tennessee. Then we go on a run, Missouri, LSU. We beat up on Mercer, which doesn't count. Then that loss to Oklahoma. It seems once we lost to Vanderbilt, it sort of started to snowball. So I'm glad to see them actually start performing better. after a loss. There would be concern that, oh, well, they're going to count this off as a lost season because they lost week 1, which you can't do anymore with the college football playoff being expanded to 12 teams now. A bad loss is not going to keep you out of it. 2 bad losses might not even keep you out of it. And even after 2 really bad losses, you still might go on and win a national title. So I'm not all the way bought in on Alabama because I don't think that's great for my mental health, but I am more in. And when I say I'm not all the way in, like, I'm not rooting for other teams. I'm not
Right.
going,
Right.
well, let's try Ohio State this year. No, that's ridiculous. Kieran and I do have mid teams we root for every year, so I'm also rooting for UMass.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I'm bad luck for these teams, by the way. This is very random. So last year when we did this, I did Kent State because they won 1 game the year before, and I was like, well, it can't get much worse than this. It could. They could lose or they could win no games.
Yeah.
And then I did UMass this year, who seems to be the worst college football team I've ever seen, which is saying a lot.
Oh boy, it's funny. It seems like we're in the month of pessimism right now. I talked with Brent Radlinsky this week about baseball playoffs, and he's down on the Yankees, even though he's a diehard Yankee fan. Trying not to get our hopes up. Right, I'm a Brewer fan. We're in the playoffs. It's scary right now, and so I understand that. Let's not get too excited about the team because then it will hurt less if and when they do fall. I like it. Let's look at the top 25 overall. And I feel like it's finally started to shake out where we have less that we are so glaringly wrong on in the top 25. And I feel like it's finally evened out a little bit. They fixed some flaws and different things like that. I still am not sure that Texas should be as high as they are. But outside of that, I feel fairly comfortable with the top 25. Is there anybody in the top 10 or even top 25, I guess, that you go, man, that just doesn't make any sense to me?
Yes. I mean, I agree with you on Texas. I think they haven't really been challenged much, and when they have, they lost. So I think Texas being top 10 is a little off-putting. Just a quick look at it. Florida State, I don't hate them at 18. I think Virginia is getting a lot of benefit of the doubt there for a team that really hasn't shown that they should be getting it. I don't know if they are a top 25 team. Yes, they beat Florida State at home. Thank God Squirrel White's okay after that
Right.
stanked feed in the end zone. Uh, so I think that's a great win for them. I don't know if they're long for the top 25, but the most egregious, maybe the most egregious top 25 team that I've seen in a while is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
At 2-2, sitting at 21 overall, they were 1-2 or 0-2 and still at like 18 a couple
Yep.
weeks ago. That's insane. And I say this all the time. Notre Dame is a mid team with really good marketing, and a lot of the teams in the top 10 get the benefit of the doubt. They can drop a game and not drop that far. I mean, looking at it, Texas is one of those schools. Alabama is clearly one of those schools. Ohio State's another one. These schools, if they lose a bad game, nobody's really going to bat an eye because, yeah, they're probably going to go on a run then and just crush everyone else in their way. Or if they lose another game, they'll still sneak into the playoffs and then cruise to the natty. Notre Dame has not really shown an ability to do that the last couple of years. Yes, I know last year they lost to Northern Illinois and then went on a run to the natty. But outside of that, look, they haven't won a national title since the Berlin Wall fell. They are not a blue blood program, and they have not been for a while. The fact that they are a top 25 team, while you have other teams like Mississippi State, who's undefeated, or they have one loss rather. You have Maryland, who's undefeated. They also haven't really been challenged. But these other good schools that are playing well this year versus a school that's not playing well this year, that's pretty good, but not great, is still in the top 25. It's ridiculous. Also, South Florida, just I understand they got dominated by Miami. Put them back in the top 25. They are a good team.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to see Notre Dame, how they've been able to kind of hold on there. Louisville's the other team that I look at. They are undefeated and out of the top 25. When you look at Notre Dame and you're going, it doesn't make any sense why why we have to show them that respect or that, like you said, benefit of the doubt. they've proven who they are at this point. They're the only 2-loss team in the top 25. And when you have teams that are still undefeated and you have good teams that are 1-loss teams, it doesn't make any sense for that. I know, Josh Pate would argue the problem is they were ranked too high to begin with. And so the voters don't want to see them go too far down because that makes them look wrong from the beginning, things like that too. So I don't know. Notre Dame's an interesting one. I'd like to see the independents go away. I'd like to see everyone into a conference as well. And I think that would change some things there for Notre Dame. And I don't think it's necessarily bad things for Notre Dame. It actually could help Notre Dame to some degree as well. But I don't know. You have a feeling on Notre Dame or a thought on Notre Dame being independent? There's a few other schools as well.
The other schools are UConn. No, is UConn still independent in
They
football?
may have joined last year. I forget.
I thought they joined. UMass was independent. They joined the MAC. No, UConn is going to be independent because they're in the Big East for basketball.
Yep.
UMass joined the MAC. Navy and Army both joined conferences.
Yep. It's just UConn and Notre Dame.
UConn and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's standpoint, I do kind of get a little bit more. They get all that TV money.
Yeah.
So, and being such a good brand because of the good marketing, not because of the good football team, they have gotten deferrals from the NCAA in terms of bowl appearances.
Yeah.
The last couple of years with the BCS system, they were guaranteed a New Year's Six bowl if they finished above 500, I think, which is absurd. But they can negotiate. They have more negotiating power by being independent. They don't have to listen to a conference structure. So I do understand it. I do think it's kind of annoying that they complain when they aren't treated like daddy's special little boy by the NCAA, and they don't have people bending over backwards to give them the benefit of the doubt. When if they're in a conference and they're one of the top teams in the conference will then bend over backwards for you.
Right.
It happens every year where a team who's in a conference who probably should not be given the opportunities they are, they get them just because they are the top school in their conference. Notre Dame doesn't get that, and they get upset that everyone else does. Join a conference. If you don't like that system, join a conference, but give up your negotiating powers. If you don't mind not getting that special treatment, keep your negotiating powers. But you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Let's talk about someone who I don't know if he's getting special treatment or not, but Bobby Petrino back on top at Arkansas after a firing. I think Pittman needed to be fired. I don't have a problem with that. Petrino now back in the head coaching spot, interim role. They said that he, said in order to take that role, he needed to be considered for the full-time job as well. So much history there, so much chaos there. Time heals all wounds in some cases as well, and wins always heal wounds when it comes to coaching jobs. So Bobby Petrino back at a head coaching spot, and specifically back at Arkansas. How do you feel this is going to turn out the rest of the season and looking down the road?
I think he's already going into it going, I am the full-time head coach.
Yeah.
He's making moves, firing staff. Usually when an interim comes in, they keep the staff for at least the rest of the year. Then if they get rid of that interim tag, they'll make changes they deem necessary. Bobby Petrino's like, nope. He just took some whiteout on that interim. It's like, I'm the head coach. You're fired. I don't hate the move. I know his last time in Fayetteville didn't end great, but not because of on the field stuff. I mean, last year, 11-2, a Cotton Bowl win. That's a great season for most schools. That's a phenomenal season for Arkansas, who's been down in the dumps lately. So I don't hate the move. There's just some stipulations that I think they need to put in place for Bobby. First off, do not lie to us about what's going on. That was a big issue. Stay away from motorcycles. Don't even look at them. And stay away from the volleyball facility. I think those are the three rules that really could get Arkansas hit the ground running in 2026 and compete in the SEC. Well, SEC West doesn't exist anymore. Compete for the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm intrigued to see. I was shocked to see the firings come after Pittman was fired, to see Petrino was firing staff members. He promoted the assistant defensive line coach as the defensive coordinator now. And I'm intrigued by it. I'm wondering how much of a leash does he have to legitimately have a shot at it, the job for, full-time job next year. I think it makes sense for everybody. He was successful, and why not? Who else are you going to hire right now? There's going to be a lot of open jobs, I think, and not necessarily a lot of names that are right there top of the list that you think Arkansas can get, right? Like Arkansas is not that desirable of a job.
Arkansas is in a really weird position because they are in an area that loves football. Arkansas, even though they have made strides in basketball to make them a little bit better, that is a football school. That is what they care about. That is what their bread and butter is. So you will get the funding you need for it. But yeah, it's not one of the top programs in not even the SEC, just the Southeast or the country, but really the Southeast. It's not one of the top programs, even with those resources that you'll get. So I think they maybe could have gotten someone better, which is weird to say because Bobby Petrino is a very successful head coach at the college level. But I think this was the right hire for now. He was already on your staff. You already kind of know how he operates and know what to avoid with him to keep yourself from having to fire him again. But also raise the question, why did Sam Pittman hire him in the first place? Is that a mandate from the university? Is that him going, I'm going to keep my job so I don't have to worry? He was the head coach of Arkansas and was not fired because he wasn't a good coach.
Yeah.
Time heals all wounds. Eventually, someone was going to forget what happened and why he was no longer their head coach. And apparently, the time it took was about 13 years. So, a bold choice by Sam Pittman. I don't know if that made the decision to fire him a little easier. I think he was gone after this year anyway. But I think the fact you already had a guy in Bobby Petrino who you knew could be successful on staff made Arkansas go, oh, yeah, no, we can just get rid of him. We have Petrino ready to go.
Yeah, that AD and board is going to have their hands full with Calipari and Petrino as their coaches right now. It's going to keep them busy, needless to say. All right, let's go ahead and transition into some picks for this week. And let's start with Vanderbilt Bama. It is 10.5, at least the last time that I looked. And so Bama's supposed to win. It's at Bama. Here's my question. Should Bama come out and win this game by 30 based off of what happened last year and kind of to set the stage? Or do we really think it's going to be, where at the very least, maybe Vanderbilt even covers this game?
I don't want Alabama to go into this game going, we need to win by 30. That was last year. That's dominating this year. Yeah, it'll get you media points, but it's not really going to help you much in the long run. It could more likely than not hurt you because you're going to play tight. You're going to play stress. You're going to be trying to put up as many points as possible. You're going to make mistakes. I want step one to be win the game. It is at home. I do think Alabama will cover, so they're going to win. But I'm going to be stressed the whole time. I think it's going to be they're going to be up 4 with 3 minutes left, and then there's going to be a pick 6 or a garbage time touchdown to get that cover. But I do think Alabama will cover in this game.
Okay. Yeah, me and Dad talked about this at the beginning of the year about kind of looking at the idea that after last season, like you have to think that boosters, alumni, even current players, even DeBoer himself is sitting there going, we cannot let this one be close. Like we need to prove that we are the much better program in this game. Being at home will help, I think. Takes some of that nerve away and all that kind of stuff too. So we'll see how it shakes down. I'm picking Bama also. Dad's picking Bama as well. We talked about Virginia a minute ago in the top 25. They are at Louisville this week, and Louisville is a 6.5-point favorite there at home. Virginia coming off the big win. Now I am biased towards Virginia because Maddox Marcellus has been a guest on this show many times, and he's now linebacker at Virginia, and so I'm rooting for him. I could care less about Virginia, but I'm rooting for him. And so I'm going to pick Virginia in this game. 6.5, I thought was a little big of a spread for this game anyhow. I'm curious to get your thoughts on maybe a less biased opinion on Virginia and Louisville.
I think this is tough to pick, and I don't want to keep going oh, I'm just going to keep picking the favorites. I think looking at the stats going into this game, Virginia's offense is much better. They have a top 5 offense. Louisville's defense is much better in almost all categories, I think, except maybe third down conversion percentage. But other than that, the Louisville defense is phenomenal. I think they're going to make Chandler Morris's life miserable on Saturday. He did throw 3 picks against Florida State. I'm not saying he's going to throw 3 picks again, but I do expect a few turnovers from him. And I do think Louisville is going to win. I think a lot of people are going to have the money on Virginia, just, riding high. They just beat Florida State. But I think Louisville defensively is going to pull this one out. And you only do wins, right? I think you said you
Yeah.
don't do spreads.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So Louisville is going to win.
Yeah. And, but if you talk about the spread, like if it was 3.5 or 4.5, that would make more sense to me. I thought 6.5 was pretty. It was actually 7.5 to open the week. I was surprised by that.
That is a little high, but who knows? I feel like I'm consistently wrong on some of this stuff. So,
all right, let's talk about 2 Florida teams, Miami and Florida State. Florida State is an underdog at home. Of course, Miami's another team that I have turned my opinion around completely on this year. Came into the year, didn't believe in Carson Beck, thought they'd still be a top 25 team, but not really legit competitors. And they've proven me wrong so far. They're at Florida State this week. Florida State, maybe they were looking ahead to Miami, and that's part of the reason they lost to Virginia, or maybe they're just, a mid team at the end of the day. I'm not sure. But do you like Miami or Florida State this week?
I hate to say this, and Jared from the corner booth is not going to be happy with me.
Okay.
I'm liking Florida State in this one.
Interesting.
I don't think the Virginia loss can derail their season. Mike Norvell from last year knows what losing feels like. Tommy Castellanos, coming from Boston College, knows what losing feels like. College football in the Northeast, that's all they know. So I think they can get right this week. I still don't trust Carson Beck. His decision making at Georgia, and I don't just mean cheating on the Cavender twin that he was dating. I don't know which one, and I am never going to know. He hasn't done it yet. It's going to happen. I think this is the prime time game for Carson Beck to revert to old ways. And I don't trust Mario Cristobal in close games. If he's up late, he refuses to kneel the ball out. That's why they lost to Georgia Tech last year. So give me Florida State.
All right. I like it. I do believe in Miami. This would be a perfect week for them to make me feel stupid for believing in them. So I'll root for Florida State, but I'm going to pick Miami. I grew up Tennessee fan, but I loved Bobby Bowden and Charlie Ward. Those were the 2 guys I just absolutely loved. So I always have a little soft spot in my heart for Florida State, but I'll go Miami this week. Dad also goes Miami this week too. All right. Iowa State at Cincinnati. Iowa State undefeated. They lost 2 major playmakers in the draft this past season. They retained their quarterback. Their coach has always been one of those names that's always around for the next big job kind of a thing as well. But they're traveling to Cincinnati, a 1-loss team, and Cincinnati's the favorite in this game, only 1.5. But I was really surprised to see Cincinnati as a favorite this week because I think Iowa State is one of the better teams in the Big 12, one of the best teams in the Big 12. So I'm going Iowa State. I don't know. How about you? Do you feel the road dog in Iowa State or the home favorites in Cincinnati?
I have consistently loved Iowa State. I love Matt Campbell. I love what he's done for that program. And Rocco Beck is phenomenal. He's a great quarterback for that Matt Campbell offense. So I like Iowa State. And also, this country's massive, but it's not like they're traveling super far.
Right.
So I like Iowa State in this one though.
All right. Last pick for this week is Washington at Maryland. Washington almost a touchdown favorite in this game. DeBoer, you're getting to know DeBoer well now, all that good stuff, but obviously he's not there anymore. Things are still going fairly well in Washington. How do you feel about Washington at Maryland?
I think Maryland is going to be a popular pick just because, they dominated Wisconsin. They haven't really been challenged by anyone else. Malik Washington, true freshman quarterback. He's going to be a phenomenal player in college, potentially in the NFL, but he's not yet. He has some accuracy issues. That Husky defense stops the run very well. They did it against Ohio State last week. The only reason I'm not hammering the table about Washington is last season, they struggled on these road trips. Flying across the country, they did not perform well. However, I do think that Washington front seven is good enough to maybe rattle the young quarterback. I like Washington in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Damon Williams, I really like what he can do out there. I love what Fish is doing out there too. I think Washington's legit. Maryland is they've gotten better. They've improved. The quarterback situation is obviously helping them out as well. And I think they're still, maybe a year away from being legit, scary at that point. But this year, I still like Washington a whole lot better. So I'm with you on that one as well. All right, Kev. I appreciate you coming on, man. I know you're a busy man, but appreciate you very much. Let's talk about your program a little bit. Tailgate on the Quad. Let the folks know what the show is, and then where they can find you and follow you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's like you said, Tailgate on the Quad. It's something that I like describing as a shenanigans show that talks about college football. We have some fun. It's with my co-host Kieran, who I've known for over a decade now. Great friend of mine, and just talk college football. I'm an Alabama fan, as we've covered. He's a Penn State fan, so we try to get differing opinions on stuff. We agree more than I would like, but it's fine. We put our shows out Thursday morning. It is nothing like me right now. To anyone watching, it's like, oh, I got to check out a show. No, I am on my best behavior right now. Something that I could talk like this in front of my mother and she'd be fine with it. So if you're expecting more of this, maybe don't check out Tailgate on the Quad. But if you don't care and you're okay with a little language and shenanigans along the way, check out Tailgate on the Quad at Quad Tailgate. Most places, I think it's actually everywhere. We're just at Quad Tailgate.
I love it, man. It's a good reminder that our network, Belly Up Sports, has a lot of variety on it, and I always appreciate when people come on my show and are always super respectful and kind to tone it down in a way that I wanted my kids to be able to listen to it, and so I appreciate your help in that, of course, as well. Kev, good luck to your Alabama Crimson Tide not tomorrow, but Saturday. And I'm intrigued to see if this one stays close for sure. And I'll be thinking about you if it is close, and maybe checking in on you on Saturday.
It's fine. There's a hospital up the road, so if I have any heart issues because of Alabama, we know where to go.
I love it. Kev, I appreciate you, man. Everybody make sure you check out Tailgate on the Quad and Kevin and his co-host as well. And it's always a good time over there. So thanks, Kev. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me on.
All right. There you go. That's our college football coverage today. Dad, by the way, agreed with me on all the picks this week on the college football side. So he went Bama, Virginia, Miami, Iowa State, and Washington. We'll get those posted on socials later tonight. Actually, we'll probably wait till closer to Saturday on those. But now let's talk some NFL football. Here tonight, we've got our pick six. Every week we cover 6 games. And we've got our primetime games. We'll do our morning game as well. And then we'll throw in a couple extra if we need to. And so this week, the games that we were picking, 49ers at Rams, getting ready to kick off here any moment now. Dad and I both taking the Rams in this one. They're 5.5-point favorites at home. The way they've been playing has been solid. 49ers, Mac Jones, he's looked pretty solid in his opportunities. And we'll see what he can do this evening and see if he can – honestly, if Mac Jones plays well tonight, if the 49ers win, but they don't even have to win. If Mac Jones plays well tonight, you might be looking at a quarterback controversy in San Francisco. There was all these rumors about, Shanahan liking Mac Jones at the draft and the front office wanting them to go a different direction, and they did with Trey Lance. It did not work. Well, now Mac's there. He's looking really good in this offense. And so if he plays well tonight, you might see some controversy, even with the big contract that they gave Brock Purdy. I'm intrigued to see if this causes some trauma in San Francisco, but we're going Rams in that game. Then Sunday morning early over in London, the Vikings and the Browns face off. The Vikings, a 3.5-point favorite. Dylan Gabriel, now the quarterback in Cleveland, getting his opportunity in Cleveland, which I think makes a whole lot of sense. We mentioned it last week. Like, it doesn't make sense to not play your rookie quarterbacks at this point. 1-3 team. Just go ahead and let's see what you got. So they're running out Dylan Gabriel. I don't like picking the Vikings, but I'm going to for this game. Dad chooses to go with Cleveland in this game. A little surprising in my opinion. But over in London, you never know what will happen across the pond. Our third game this week is the Patriots at the Bills. The Bills, a 7.5-point favorite at home. I will take the Bills. Dad will follow me on that one as well. He will also take the Bills this week. I believe they've got those ice jerseys coming out. Look pretty solid as well. So we'll see them come out. Patriots have looked better. And division games are always dangerous. So don't take it too lightly, but I will go Bills in this game. Chiefs and Jaguars is the Monday night game. Chiefs 2-2, Jaguars 3-1. The reality is the Chiefs are just a better team, and they're a better coached team, and all that good stuff too. We saw Liam Cohen get a little upset last week, and him and Robert Saleh going after it, and Saleh accusing him of things and whatever it may be. I guess we can put that behind us. But Kansas City, even though they're on the road, it is a primetime game. I expect Kansas City, as they're getting healthier, to continue to get better. Give me Kansas City. Dad will be with me on that one as well. All right, then we got Tampa Bay at Seattle. Seattle is a 3.5-point favorite at home against the Bucs. The Bucs are beat up. That's why I did not pick them last week, and it's kind of why I'm going to stay away from them this week. But I also believe Seattle is a legit solid team in the NFC West, and I just like them this year. I think they're really good. Being at home, if this was in Tampa, I might lean Tampa. I love what Emeka Egbuka has been doing down there as well. But running back situation, they're beat up there. Baker's a little beat up. The wide receivers are beat up. So I'm going to go Seattle in this game, and let's see if Sam Darnold has himself another big outing. Then our last picks for this week is the Texans at the Ravens, and my, oh my, what are the Ravens doing? And I think you could say that about both of these teams, but Baltimore has looked so bad at 1-3 this season, and now at home, they're an underdog to another 1-3 team. What are we doing, Vegas? I am so confused by this. The Ravens 2.5-point dogs at home. Like, I know there's some injury issues. I know Derrick Henry hasn't been great, but what has the Texans done to make you think that they're better than the Ravens? To me, there's very little evidence of that. And so being in Baltimore, I'm going to take Baltimore. Now, Dad chooses to go with Vegas. He is picking the Houston Texans in this game. And I like the Houston Texans. I'd like to see Jaden Higgins get some more opportunities. I'd like to see CJ Stroud play better. Woody Marks was a fun story, all that good stuff. But my goodness, seriously, we're going to go making the Ravens an underdog at home? Ugh, I don't like that at all. So I'm going to go Baltimore. Dad's going to go Houston in this game. A few other storylines to look at in this week. Lions at Bengals. This one should be embarrassing for Cincinnati. They have to figure out something different at quarterback because Browning is not the answer. So hopefully they'll address that very, very soon. But this week, expect Detroit to walk all over Cincinnati. The New York Giants getting their first win. Jackson Dart at quarterback. They're traveling to New Orleans to face the Saints. The Saints are the favorites in this game. I don't understand that either. The way Cam Scadaboo's been playing, the Giants, their defense has been solid as well. They have a win on their record already. Give me the Giants over the Saints. Eventually, the Saints need to make the move at quarterback too. I don't believe in Tyler Shuck, but you drafted him, so why not throw him out there? Why not see what he is? Denver travels to Philadelphia this week. Philadelphia is still undefeated. I don't like this game. I'd rather the Broncos win, but I just don't like it in Philadelphia. The Broncos, I think, are going to have a rough week this week, so I'm going Philadelphia in that one. Dallas Cowboys 1-2-1 coming off that tie with the Packers, facing off against the New York Jets 0-4. But the Jets have been playing some decent ball. I think now with the Braylon Allen injury, Breece Hall will get the true attention he deserves from the New York offensive coordinator. And I think that you're going to see the Jets offense look really, really good against Dallas. The question is can the defense play well? Because the Packers, all they had to do was play some defense, and they would have easily won that game. But they did not. Can the Jets play some defense? I think they will. Give me the Jets at home over Dallas. Las Vegas travels to Indianapolis. The Colts 3-1 on the year. Raiders 1-3. I do not like much of anything going on in Las Vegas right now. Genty finally looked the part. That's a good thing. Daniel Jones, now the question marks are out there, right? He looked so good to start the season, and last week was not great. So will he rebound, or will the Raiders take over? Give me Indianapolis at home. I think there is a rebound in place here for Danny Dimes. Miami and Carolina. Talk about games you just don't care about. This would be one of them. Miami comes in, Tyreek Hill out for the year. I really want to see Jalen Waddle step up. You know, if you've listened to the show, I'm an anti-Tua guy. I do not believe in him at all. But they're playing Carolina. I think if the Dolphins lose this game, and maybe this goes this way for the rest of the season, Mike McDaniel's job is in major jeopardy in Miami. I really want to pick Carolina. I don't know that I trust him. If I was putting money on this, I would go Miami. I'm not putting money on this, so give me Carolina over the Dolphins at home. Let's see here, Titans and Cardinals. Cardinals need to showcase their talent. We need Marvin Harrison to show up and kind of get all these monkeys off his back, so to say. The Titans should play better this week. Cam Ward did not look good last week. The coaching staff there is on the outs. I cannot believe they would survive at the end of the season. They may not survive next week if they lose to the Cardinals, and if it doesn't look good, at least even remotely good for the Titans, why wouldn't they fire their coach? Cardinals win this one at home is my pick. Commanders and Chargers. Jaden Daniels is back. 2-2 on the year. Mariota's been okay. Chargers lost one they should not have lost, but they are at home. I like the return of Jaden Daniels for Washington. McLaurin's out. I go back and forth on this one too. Since it's in LA, give me the Chargers, but I will not be surprised if Washington wins this one, and Jaden Daniels has a big game as well. Each and every week, not only do we give you our picks, but we also give you a team for your survivor pool if you're in a survivor pool. And this survivor pick is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky and their sole survivor flavor, Korean barbecue flavor that'll knock your socks off. It's incredible, and you can get it at righteousfelon.com. If you use the promo code STOVE15, you're going to get 15% off your purchase as well. Me and Dad are in agreement this week on our survivor pick. We are going to Detroit as they travel to Cincinnati. We think that one's just really easy to pick. So we're going Detroit. Both of us are going Detroit this week, and that'll be your pick for your survivor pool if you have one as well. The NFL is getting to that point now. We've got bye weeks for the first time. So we're starting to see if you're in fantasy and things like that, you're going to see yourself looking for, wait a second, where's this guy? Why is he not playing? Those kinds of things as well. The best thing you can do is tune in to the Belly Up Fantasy Live football show every Tuesday. I host that. Bring in a couple friends, Kevin Wilson and Brian Germanaro. You can find that on your podcast platform, wherever you listen to podcasts, at Belly Up Fantasy Live Football, or you can always catch it on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel as well. All right, that's all we got for today. Hopefully Dad is enjoying his visit with his favorite child, and I'm just here all by my lonesome, rejected and abandoned, and that's okay. I sure appreciate Kev stopping by to talk some college football from Tailgate on the Quad. You can check out his show and many other great shows on the Belly Up Sports Network if you go to the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel, or you just go to the website, bellyupsports.com. You can find them all there as well. Follow us on social media at Sports Stove. That's Twitter and Instagram. And tune in every Thursday to the Sports Stove Football Show. I should be dropping a new college or NFL draft big board for next season. It needs to be drastically updated from the preseason. So working on that hopefully this week. Have that ready for you next week as well. But we sure appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Sports Stove Football Show. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.